Hello. Happy December and happy holidays. I haven't seen you in almost 8 months. Yep. It has been quite some time. I have been busy, 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 and also just not videoing anything, but I have still been reading. So I kind of want to share with you what I have been reading since you last saw me and over the year of 2023. I still have two more books that I'm reading for December. I'm reading Christmas and Other Horrors, which is a short story collection. One of the first, I read only one story so far, and that one was by, I want to say, Tananarive Due. And I think it was called Return to Bear Mountain Lodge. I'm not sure on the title, but something like that. And I was interested the fact that there is actually another short story that takes place in that same little universe that she created for that story, which is very interesting. I guess she wrote it before. So I'm interested to go back and look at that one. She also mentioned in the book that it's a possibility that she may take something from those short stories and create a full novel out of them, for which I would be extremely happy and excited to read. I do love her a lot. The other two books I'm currently reading that I may or may not finish before the end of the year is by Stephen Graham Jones, and it's called, what's it called? Only the Good Indians? Only the Good Indians? I might be saying that one wrong. And I'm also listening to Gideon the Ninth. So I'm listening to those two, and we'll see how that one goes. Okay, so perhaps I'll add four more books onto my list. So for now, let's just get started here. All right, so I read this year Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. That was book 2 of a series. I also read book 3, Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, which was for the book club, the Literally Dead book club. I had read book 1 in the end of 2022, so that one's not on here. Book 1 I really loved. Book 2 I liked. Book 3 was okay. So hopefully book 4, which is coming out, maybe it can go back to love or like, and I guess okay if that's, but no worse than that, please. Anyways, I put those in favorites, but actually I want to put those down here. Okay, on Audible, I did listen to some Anne of Green Gables books. I listened to the first one in 2022, and I've read that many times throughout the years, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So let me just put some of these here. This is Anne of Avonlea and Anne of the Island. So I listen to those two, usually while I'm working. It's something easy to just have on, and it's kind of relaxing. For last Christmas, my daughter gave me Legends and Lattes, which I read, and that's going to go up in favorites of 2023. It was just a sweet, cozy read. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to reading the next one, and I know that someone's getting it for me for Christmas. So I will be reading that next year in January. Lunar Love. This one I got from the Book of the Month Club. It's a romance. I did enjoy that one. That was nice. Gallant. Honestly, I didn't love that one, but I still have some more V.E. Schwab books to read. My sisters from Portland, Oregon sent me 3. I believe they're all part of a series. So I do want to get around to reading those next year. This one is Dead, Dead Girls. I read that one, and I have not yet read the second one that I do have from that same author. Age of Vice. I'm going to put that one in my favorites of 2023. I read that at the beginning of the year, and I do appreciate the character journey that one had in it. So I'm going to put that in favorites, as I'm going to try to include some of my favorites from different genres. So that way I can have favorites from many different parts, like horror, romance. This one, I'm not sure what you call it. Fiction. Temporary fiction. All right, The Honeymooners. I have Lore Olympus here. This is a graphic novel. This year I have read Lore Olympus 1, 2, and 3. I am looking forward to reading volumes 4 and 5. So I do have to get those. Let me see. Here it is. Lore Olympus 1, 2, and 3. I enjoyed those ones. I really like the color schemes that the author and artist does in these books, where each character is basically a different color. All right, Stephen King Fairy Tale. I enjoyed that. Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House. This one may not have been popular with everyone that I know, but it was popular with me and is going in my favorites of 2023. I am a sucker for books about puppets and or haunted dolls and creepy kids. So this one was great. Towards the middle of the book, I was getting all like giddy and just like, oh, because I had no idea when I first picked it up where it was going to go. I was pleased. Far Sector is a graphic novel that is written by N.K. Jemisin, and I'm going to put that up in my favorites of 2023 as my favorite graphic novel I've read this year. So that's going to, it's a sci-fi, basically in the Green Lantern universe, I believe, and kind of a futuristic, very interesting sci-fi. I would, if you like graphic novels, if you like sci-fi, if you like N.K. Jemisin, I would pick that one up. My other favorite graphic novel that I kind of want to put in favorites, but I don't want to put everything up in favorites, is this one here, Uzumaki by oh oh I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm so sorry. Can't remember his first name. Junji Ito, I believe. So this is a book, and I read this one on my iPad. But when I recently went to a bookstore and I saw this in physical copy, I really need to have it as my own. The art is spectacular. Like on the iPad, yes, you can see the art is cool, but like just flipping those pages of art, it's so amazing. And kind of a creepy, eerie story is told in this one. I really want to put it in my favorites, and I think I'm gonna put it up here. So I have my two favorite graphic novels for this year. I think that's fair. All right. Let's see. Oh, another favorite of this year was Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I know there's a second book. I do have it on my to be read shelf. So I do hope to get around to that one next year. I really loved it. I thought it was a sweet love story, and I was I was very pleased with it. It was serene. I've been looking for books this year that makes me feel good, and that one made me feel very nice, and I appreciate that. The Hacienda was a great book. I really loved that one. I read two by Isabel Cañas this year. I read The Hacienda as well as, where is it? Where are you? Oh, Vampires of El Norte. And Vampires of El Norte, I'm going to put one of those up at the top in my favorites. Let's see if I can drag that on up here. Sorry. All right. So I think I'm going to put Vampires of El Norte up here because I actually did enjoy that one a bit more than the Hacienda. I loved them both, and I can't wait for that author to come out with a new book. I will be getting it straight away. And I got both of these from Book of the Month Club, which is nice because they look very nice together. The same size, same look. Love these two books. I hope, like in 5 to 10 years, to be able to read them again because I think I would really enjoy them and anything else that she comes out with for sure. The Ex Hex is a sweet supernatural rom com. I do like that, and I think The Kiss Curse is part 2. Yes. So the Ex Hex is book 1, and then we have The Kiss Curse, which is book 2. Very cute, sweet. I really enjoy these kind of feel good novels. Easy to read, little supernatural in there, some witches, and I just find them sweet. Speaking of which, Danielle Garrett's universe is just a feel good universe all around. So I don't read her books in physical copies, I listen to them. So I'm going to put that here. I've read quite a few, I think, this year from her, including some Christmas ones. And I have quite a few more to read. She actually has a sheet. Let me see if I have it here. I think I have it in my drawer here somewhere. And if not, oh, I do. I do have it. So I have a list of, let's see if you can see it there, of her books. And as I read them, I just highlight it and then I color in the book on the shelf. It's fun. I enjoy it. And so I haven't read that many actually. I've read 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I think I read 2 other ones I didn't fill in yet. So probably about 14 out of 44. So I still have a lot to go. And in fact, she has some new ones that aren't even on here. So I really appreciate that whenever I want a good, feel good book, that she's there for me. I read the graphic novel of Animal Farm. I had read it before many years ago. This graphic novel was perfect just to give me a little refresher, take it in a bit. Animal Farm. Yeah, there it is. Graphic novels. Okay, Raybearer, I listened to, and that one I believe is a young adult book. And I did enjoy that one, yes, but I will not be continuing on in the series. As much as I liked it, I'm just not going to be continuing on in that one. Love and Gelato. I do have 3 or 4 books that are by the same author. They're not about the same people, but very similar covers. They look really nice together on the shelf, and I will read the next ones as well. Bloodchild and Other Stories. I think this is a short story collection by Octavia E. Butler. It was fantastic. I always love her work. She's never failed me. Every time I read her books, it makes you feel. They're wonderful. She's a wonderful sci-fi writer. And for my raunchy read for 2023 is Hot as Puck. Now, I don't read a lot of books like this. It's not really my, what would you say? It's not really my wheelhouse to say. But this one I really enjoyed. I thought it was actually really sweet and I liked it. So maybe it is in my wheelhouse after all. A little hockey love. All right, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I listened to that one as well as book 2 in that series, The Dragon Republic. And it's a trilogy of books, so I do have the 3rd one to read in 2024, which I am looking forward to. All right, we have Black Candle Women. The Dead Romantics is going to have to go up here in my favorites in the romantic category for this year. I have 2 I want to put up there. The Dead Romantics is one of them. And that one was written by the same person who also wrote The 7-Year Slip, which I read this year and enjoyed. Now, I would put them both up here, but I think I enjoyed The Dead Romantics just a bit more than The 7-Year Slip. So I'm going to put The Dead Romantics up there. The 7-Year Slip, though, is definitely worth reading if you like romance. It's a good book, The 7-Year Slip. All right, we have Fahrenheit 451. That one, I had always thought I had read it because it's one of the books that you hear about. It's one of the books that you know what it is about, but I had never read it. So now I can put that on my list as classics that I have read. All right, so I have another graphic novel here called Ghosted in LA, and I read 2 volumes of that. So we'll put both of those up there. This one is called Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. And that was a cute YA book. I read that one from the library, and it takes place after The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it focuses on the Pumpkin Queen. And it's very sweet. That's what it is. It's just sweet, and I liked it. I have Star Wars Ronin. I borrowed that one from my daughter. The Spite House, we read that for a book club read, the Literally Dead Book Club. And this one I got from my daughter for last Christmas, a The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. As you can see, I like those witchy, cozy books. So I did enjoy that one. Queer Little Nightmares. I read that one, and maybe that should go up. Oh, I need to pick a collection of short stories from my favorites. So I think I'm going to put this one up there for my favorites of the short story collections that I've read, Queer Little Nightmares. Now, unfortunately, I did lend my copy out to a friend who has recently separated from my other friend. So we'll see if I can get in touch and get that one back. But if not, at least I got a chance to read it. All right, Not the Witch You Wed. I think you're seeing a pattern here of some books I like to read. So yeah, I read that one. I'll put that one up here next to my other little witchy books. And this one too. Why not? Let's just put all the witchy books together. That's fun. All right, here's another Danielle Garrett. So I'm going to put that here with the Danielle Garrett books. This one is Serpents and Sprinkles and Sea Serpents. Outlawed, I read that one that I did not enjoy that much. Closed Casket. This is a Hercule Poirot book that was written by, let me see here, Sophie Hannah. I have about 3 or 4 in this series. So I did read the first one and it is good. So I will continue in the series. And they look really pretty on the shelf. That's one thing I like about them. And I always love Agatha Christie. So it's nice, even though this was not written by Agatha Christie, it does have her beloved character in it. So I'm looking forward to reading the other ones. All right, I have Sandman, which is this was an Audible book, and this is volume 2, and I'm gonna have to put this in favorites for sure. So volume 1 I read in 2022, this one in 2023, and I'm definitely going to be listening to both of them again, probably in the near future. They are fantastic. If you haven't heard them yet, I strongly recommend you check those out. They're so much fun to listen to. All right, graphic novel. This is Nubia. This is a comic issue. I can't remember. I can't really see the name of it, but I think it's called Historia, and it's basically in the Amazonians from Wonder Woman. And the art in this is so gorgeous, so gorgeous. If you can look it up just to look at the art inside, you'll be very pleased. My daughter has a few more, I believe, issues of that I need to take a look at. All right, another Danielle Garrett, Feel Good, The Ghost Hunter Next Door. We're putting that one there. I'm going to move that one around a bit. Okay, Howl's Moving Castle. So I read this one this year because I really love Studio Ghibli, pretty much anything and everything that Studio Ghibli does. So I thought, why not read the book as well? And it was very, very charming. Lone Women by Victor Laval. I enjoyed it a lot, maybe more than other people have. So I would definitely recommend that one. The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. All right, so I listened to that one. That's what's her name? Flavia Deleuze, I think. It's like a mystery book, and the protagonist is a child who's extremely into poisons and is quite smart for her age. That was enjoyable little audiobook. The Princess Beard was a very funny book, so I think I'm actually going to put that into my favorites for the year. I don't know what category it would be in. Satire, I guess. It's funny, it's sweet, the characters are so lovable. And if you like those kind of books that are kind of like, they're very odd, they make very odd jokes, lots of puns, then that's the book for you. Spy Family. I have read, I believe, 5 or 6 of the Spy Family novels. Graphic novels. And I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on my shelf to be read. I am looking forward to that. Let me just put all those up there. I haven't started watching the show yet on Netflix, but I am looking forward to that. Another graphic novel here, This One Summer, and Le Petit Gargons. I do not speak French, as you can tell, and this book was not in French. This was the picture that I could find. It was originally in French and it was translated into English, and I could not find the English cover. I suppose I could have just taken a picture of my book off the shelf, but I didn't. Oh, and my all-time favorite book of the year, Tender as the Flesh. That was the top book of all these books. I have to say that one was my favorite. It made the most impact on me. I still think about it sometimes. It's bonkers, and I love it. But I don't recommend it for everyone. I have friends who I know would hate it, so it's not necessarily for everyone. Okay. Advika and the Hollywood Wives. That one I got from Book of the Month Club. Jamila Green Ruins Everything. I think that would be another type of, I guess that would be a satire book. And it is close to being my favorite. But I guess if I had to choose between the two, Princess Beard and Jamila Green, that's a hard one. I'm just going to leave it like this. But they were both very good. I read them both around the same time. I was reading a lot of books with purple covers. So you'll probably see quite a bit of purple in here. It was kind of a theme for me. The Writing Retreat, I read that with the book club again, Literally Dead Book Club. I'm going to put that up here in favorites of 2023 in the thriller category. That was fun. Nothing to see here. What a weird little book. What a weird little book. And I loved it. It was weird, and I loved it. The Sweetest Remedy. That was a romance. And let me see how many romances I have up here, because that, I feel like, I'm going to put it here. It was close up here, but I did enjoy Dead Romantics just a touch more, but The Sweetest Remedy was sweet. It was a good book. Another Spy Family, we'll put that there. Another book that I read for the Book of the Month Club, Whisper Down the Lane. And here we have some comics. So most of the comics that I read are going to be Star Trek. So I'm just going to put them there. This is, I read several, like Star Trek Lower Decks, Star Trek, War Dogs, Strange New Worlds. So I'll just put them all up there. There we go. All right, Love and Color. That is a book of short stories written by, let me see if I can say her name, Bolu Babalola, maybe. And she also wrote Honey and Spice, which I also read this year. I read that one. My Heart is a Chainsaw. Now that's going to have to go up in my favorites of the year for horror. So I have the How to Sell a Haunted House, My Heart is a Chainsaw as my horror reads. Thriller, Tender as the Flesh. I guess that's horror, because it's horrifying. So I guess that's what that is. Yeah. All right. The Cherry Robbers. Oh, gosh. Okay. Another favorite of 2023. The Cherry Robbers was one of my favorite books. Probably my second favorite book that I've read this year. And I have to say, I lent it out to my friend who's going to lend it out to her sister. And then I think my oldest daughter should read it. It is just fantastic. I loved it so much. It's written by Sarai Walker, who also wrote Dietland. I did read that one in 2022, and that was good. But The Cherry Robbers was fantastic. That one was my favorite of her books. All right, we got some more comics here, some more Star Trek. We have a graphic novel of Mamo. And then we have A Curious Beginning. Now, this is a Veronica Speedwell mystery book, and I'm actually going to put that up in my favorites, because I don't have one for mystery yet. So let's throw that one up there. The Curious Beginning. I also read books 2 and 3 of the Veronica Speedwell books, but I'm not going to put them all in my favorites. That would be silly. But they are good. So I'll put that one there. And let's see if I can find the other one. I'll find it in a bit anyways. All right, I got Hidden Pictures that it was okay. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It's gonna go there. Some more Star Trek comics, White Horse. That goes up here in physical reads. That was another book of the month club book. Martha Wells. Okay, so I just discovered Martha Wells this year, and I'm happy to say I love it. I've been listening to her Murderbot series, and I believe I've listened to the first 2 or 3, I think 3, and I will be continuing on in the Murderbot series for sure, and looking at some of her other works. I really like that series, was so much fun to listen to. All right, we got some more Star Trek comics. This one I quite enjoy. This is Picard's Academy. All right, The Lighthouse Witches. And this one is another series of comics I've just read one issue of. I will continue to read it. It's very interesting. I'm not sure where it's going, but I enjoyed the way this first issue went. And this is called, what's it called? I can't read the tiny writing, but it's like The Very Ordinary Life of Christopher Chaos, I believe is the title, or something close to that. All right, Bright Young Women. I did read that one, and that was good. It was very interesting. I think this is coming up. I'm not sure if it's coming up in the Book Troop book club or not. I think it is. So I've already read it, so that would be fun to participate in that book club for that month. All right, another Star Trek comic, A Touch of Darkness, which is a Hades and Persephone love story, part 1. I didn't love it. I will probably not continue in the series, though I already have the audiobooks on Audible of 2 and 3, so I may go ahead and listen to them anyways. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Stephen King, Holly. Read that one this year. It was different. It was a different Stephen King type, but I did like it. All right, 19 Claws and a Blackbird. This is a short story collection by the same author who wrote Tender as the Flesh. I can't see her name here. Augustina Bazarica. More Star Trek comics. And more Star Trek comics. And more Star Trek comics. Oh, more Star Trek comics. Look at all these. Okay. I have to say, Dogs of War is so cute. There's like a little corgi on the covers of all of them. Oh, adorable. Adorable. And my bathroom book of the year was The Goldblum Variations. So I also have a shower curtain with Jeff Goldblum on it. So it just kind of goes together, right? So I finally finished that one. I guess I didn't spend much time in the bathroom this year because it took me a year to get through it. All right, Earth Divers, a graphic novel by Stephen Graham Jones where they go back in time to kill Christopher Columbus. And there is another volume coming up where they go back into a different time. And I'm not sure to do what this time, but it was interesting. Don't Fear the Reaper. All right, so that one is book 2 of My Heart is a Chainsaw. So I read both of those this year, and I'm looking forward to next year when I can read the 3rd book in the trilogy, because I did enjoy both of these. Oh, yes, here's another Martha Wells Murderbot. Let's put that up here with the other Martha. So I did read 3 Martha Wells Murderbot stories, which means I have number 4, A Dash of Dragon. I read this. This is a YA or middle grade book. It's very sweet. It's just a very sweet book. If you have any middle graders who, it has to do with cooking, it has to do with dragons. I liked it. It was sweet. The Sundown Motel. That was a fun thriller. Yellowface. Excellent book. Excellent. Really enjoyed that one. That one's also by R.F. Kuang. I am currently reading Babel as well. So that one will not be finished this year, but hopefully next year. Midnight is the Darkest Hour was a book that was chosen for the book club. And listen, not everyone loved it. I actually really liked it a lot. I found it fun. I understood it was goofy and I enjoyed it at the time I was reading it. So even though when I look back, I can say, well, that was silly and unnecessary, or there's too much of this, too much of that. But while I was listening to it, I was enjoying it. So I'm going to go with I enjoyed it, since at the time I did. And I don't need to look back too much. We'll just go with I enjoyed it. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. That was an interesting short book of short stories as well, all in the same, with the same characters, I guess, the same leading characters and the same idea in each of the short stories. But each of the stories was about a different scenario. It was very sweet. Teared up a little bit on some of them. Here's another Veronica Speedwell book. So it looks like I have read more than I thought of hers. Wait, where did I put those? Oh, up here. I shouldn't have put them up there because I actually listened to them on audiobooks. So I've read 3 Veronica Speedwell books. Murder on the Christmas Express. That was one of my Christmas reads this year. I have read a few more Christmas books this year than I have probably the last 5 or 10 years put together. All right, everyone in my family has killed someone. I'm going to have to put that in my favorites of 2023 as mystery. So I have 2 mystery books up there. That's good. Horror Store. Finally read that one, which was, excuse me. 1 second. I finally read Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I gotta put that up here in physical copies. All right. Ugh, The Ink Black Heart, my least favorite read of all 2023 and probably the longest. So why didn't I DNF it? Because I don't DNF. I want to DNF. I have tried to DNF, but something's wrong with me where I just can't say no. So I keep reading it. I keep reading it. So I did finish it and I did not like it. All right, Bad Dolls. This is a short story collection by Rachel Harrison. Now, I know she's written a lot of books, and I haven't read that I can recall any of her other books. And I do own a few of them, so maybe I'll read those into 2024 because I did like some of her short stories, or at least the way they were written. So, all right, The Christmas Guest is another one of my 2024 reads. And so I am going to put that here. I actually did like this one. It's kind of a mystery, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. And a Danielle Garrett Christmas read, A Very Beechwood Christmas. I can see that we're getting into our last books of the year since it's December, and these are the ones that I've read most recently. And this one is called, let's see here, Grimoires and Gingerbread. That is another Danielle Garrett Christmas book. The September House. Now, not everyone loved this one. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Yeah, I did. I actually really enjoyed The September House, much more than you'd think. All right, The Maid. The Maid I read, just recently, and I have to say, Molly the Maid is one of the sweeter characters that I've read. Like, I have to say, she's very sweet. All right, well, that's it for 2023. I've got my favorites here. I got my physical reads and my audiobooks. graphic novels, and comic issues. Most of them are Star Trek, it's true. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I would love to hear what you've read this year and what were your favorites and least favorites. And I look forward to reading with you more in 2024. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and Happy New Year.